If you're a human being and you're willing to look at objective truth, you can realize that like there's some other things afoot. There's a tribal aspect to all of our ideological problems that makes objective reasoning a giant problem. It just like it gets in the way of everything because people are so tribally committed right now, and that they're tribally committed to this idea that the other side is the end of the world if they take power.
Yeah.
And there's all these different things that are bounced back around, these societal issues that keep getting bounced back around, where you go like, why aren't these resolved? Like the Roe v. Wade one, and now they're talking about gay marriage, like doing the same thing with gay marriage. Like, why do you want to do this? Are you doing this because you just want people to squabble about shit? Because that's what it seems like. Because that's the only reason why you would have like Supreme Court conversations about gay marriage in 2023. Like, why would you? Who the fuck? Why? What? Like, what do you?
We've already had that debate.
We're gone. We passed that. We passed that. So if that's still, and if people even want to bring it up for debate, like, is that real? Or is this one of those things that keeps us culturally squabbling? And it keeps people like ideologically connected to one group and opposed with all their vitriol the other group. The group, they're monsters. They're evil.
Yeah.
They're the ruin of society.
Yeah.
And this fucking bipolar aspect to our society is just, it's fed by social media. It's fed by these fake accounts. It's fed by, soulless commentators.
The saddest part is when that tribalism comes into your own family. So here's an incredible story. I've appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, his old show, several times on television, but his long form podcast that he used to do, he had invited us, meaning my family and I, to Florida to do his show. He was super gracious, super warm with everybody, with my kids and so on. And so I put out a tweet just thanking him for his hospitality. Hey, Tucker, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat, blah, blah, blah. A cousin of mine, Joe, who went through the Lebanese civil war with me and who was my best friend growing up in Lebanon. So you would think that if there's ever a relationship that's cemented in the trials and tribulations of our childhood, it would be that relationship.
Yeah.
So he puts out a tweet and he says something, I don't remember it exactly, although I quoted in the book on happiness because I'm basically arguing, don't live your life like my cousin. He puts out a tweet saying something like, have you no shame, right? So he decides to publicly shame me for being associated or agreeing to go on Tucker Carlson's show. That shows you what tribalism can do to the human mind. It takes something as difficult as what we went through the Lebanese Civil War, and it erases it because he can't believe that I could do something as grotesque as to talk to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, and if you asked him for examples, specific examples of why Tucker Carlson is so horrible, that's where it would get interesting.
Yeah.
Because some people might be able to say some things they found disagreeable, but most people are just sticking to a narrative.
Yeah.
There's just this narrative that he is evil incarnate, he is a transphobe, or whatever it is.
He's a Putin stooge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a Putin stooge. There's all these different things, but
Yeah.
they want to ignore all evidence that he's a lovely guy.
And he really is.
By all accounts. All the people that I know that have had interactions with him say he's a very lovely guy, including my friend Steve Rinella. He had him on a podcast. And these people that, they had these ideas of who he was before he came on his podcast. And he's like, they all came away like, I really like him.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with his politics, he seems like a really nice guy.
Gracious, down to earth. What I love, you know how you often say, if you want to know whether the date that you're out with is a good person, see how he or she treats the server at the restaurant.
Sure.
So the way he interacted with my children, right? He was focused on them. He was so how are you doing? How are you enjoying? Right? So he's taking his time. He's not acting haughty and I'm this big star. He is focused on my children. I thought that was really lovely. That's what I was trying to convey in that tweet. But to my cousin, that was beyond the pale.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that someone would turn on you like that.
Yeah.
It's just so foolish. It's so foolish because first of all, that should be something that you would have a conversation with somebody about. Like if I care about someone, they're talking to someone that I find egregious, I think you would have a conversation with him. You call him up and you
Yeah.
go, hey, man, just this is what I think. And
Yeah.
like, you tell me what you think.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think. But there's certain like narratives that you can't, like anything on Fox News is the Hitler. It's the Hitler. It's the evil. It's
Well, I'll be on the Hitler channel tomorrow when I go to Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I think they're trying to reform that in some sort of a way.
Yeah.
And I think Fox News is getting a lot of pushback from people on the right that are very concerned with, some of the decisions they're making, and that they're kind of going down the same path that a lot of these other corporations have gone down.
Do you have a sense of what happened with do you have any?
I don't know. So I don't know what happened with Tucker Carlson. I don't know why he got fired. I know as much as the average person who reads Reddit. I know some conspiracies. I know he was he was like, he's kind of wild fella when you think about like what he was doing on a major television show implicating the CIA in the assassination of John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And he's saying it with like utmost certainty.
Yeah.
Right? It's
But-
like,
So you think that the reason of firing him was that they thought that he didn't adhere to some journalistic ethic or rigor or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be the case. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think that when you have a network that's run by advertising, I mean, that's what you do for income.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's a lot of pressure by those people, those advertisers, to eliminate threats to their business.
Right.
So if you got some wild dude on Fox News who's saying a bunch of shit about whatever it is, whether it's why we in Ukraine,
Yeah.
whether it's why you mandating vaccines, whether it's having that kind of stuff on regular television. It's a big problem to anybody that's selling advertisement that's in those businesses.
Apparently Budweiser didn't learn that lesson.
Well, see, the difference between Budweiser and pharmaceutical drug companies is that Budweiser is not prescribed.
Right.
It's not recommended by your doctor.
Right.
You don't get you don't go to CVS to pick it up. It's that's different. And so this is like something that you can't really criticize a brand and like say, hey, yeah, we don't buy Pfizer around these parts anymore. Like that doesn't work. It's not gonna work. You can do that with Budweiser though, and you can do that with that's probably gonna happen with some other stuff too.